All right, this is a second SCP of this author, Ekium. We had 2447 last time with them. 2447, which was the robotic armed armadillos. Yeah. Those were really cool. So Ekium, you wrote that last time, and this time we have you write The Long Wait. It's a very long wait. She's for the yippee yay. I will tell you. I will be honest with you. Doesn't give me much. Is she like how old is she? Is how many computers do you have? I mean, I have one PC here. I have a laptop over there. I have a PC in Zurich. Yeah. Alright, let's go. This document has no clearance requirement. It is exempt from all security precautions by order of 057. I have a TV. But are you watching me on TV right now? Is that what's happening? Is that what you're telling me? Object class none. Well, that's rare. PC TV, okay. Wait, am I sassing you while everybody's seeing me? Is that what's happening? Is everybody hearing me saying things to you right now? Or you have, like, I assume you have headphones on. Special containment procedures. Due to its unusual nature, containment efforts for SCP-2508 are to be focused on its upkeep, research regarding its origin and significance, and maintaining its routines. I don't have headphones. So I'm sassing you, and whoever's in this apartment with you is hearing me giving you sass. So yesterday, when I was yelling about you eating poison, people were like, probably look like, what is she watching? The current residence is to add the name to the logbook along with the Foundation ID and occupation. Dash 1 is to be filled every day at noon and should be inspected for cracks or leaks on a monthly basis, with repairs being made accordingly. The hatch in front of Dash 2 is to be closed during bad weather and all of winter. SCP-2508 is to be kept in good condition. The archives are to be kept organized at all. The archives are to be kept organized at all times. Please note that all necessities such as food and medication are restocked daily. This looks like a very... It's not German. Definitely more. I would potentially English. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Additionally, the current resident is to record any and all findings they come across regarding SCP-2508. They are also encouraged to catalog any other thoughts thoughts, experiences, and/or dreams that they deem relevant. It is imperative that these records be concise. Incomplete data and fragments of information are also acceptable, including any knowledge pertaining to fields of study that may be useful to future residents. And I used to sit on the floor, but now I have a stool to sit on. The more I hear about you, the more I'm like intrigued about your life. But hey, as long as you're happy, and as long as people around you are happy, then yeah, and everything's fine, everything's good. The current resident is to attempt to maintain a mental state of well-being. For more information of the subject, see the study. Finally, at all times, an up-to-date version of this document is to be kept within a laminated slot located on the table by the door. I'm choosing to sit on the floor right now, though. Okay. SCP-2508 is a college-style house of indeterminate location, as well as its 0.53 kilometers squared of surrounding property. The house has 2 main floors, not including its 1 basement and attic. The manner in which SCP-2508 is discovered by an individual is always unintentional, and past residents have noted coming across the house at varying addresses in separate towns, different countries, and under wildly dissimilar circumstances. Both SCP-2508's builder and original inhabitants, if it can be presumed there were any, are unknown at this time, which fits that I cannot really pinpoint where this, which type of college this would, like, country-wise, this would belong to. Because I've seen college like that in the UK. I've seen some of them like in Germany. So who knows? Who knows where it is from? Only one person is capable of being inside SCP-2508 at a time. As an individual enters, however, they will become incapable of leaving. The reason for this comes from the fact that as one exits the property of SCP-2508 on one end, they will find themselves arriving at the other end. This looping or recursive geographical space is what prevents escape from SCP-2508. So kind of like the Pac-Man effect, where like you go to one end of the screen and you pop back in the other end of the screen. At this point, the reader may be growing aware of the implications of what has been described. It should be clarified that as escape from SCP-2508 is impossible, and SCP-2508 is not believed to have any real-world location, sending information to the outside world is not a possibility. Bearing in an unforeseen scenario, all material regarding SCP-2508, including this document, is confined within SCP-2508 itself. Is that why the object class is considered none? Because technically they technically haven't contained it. Therefore, if you are reading this document, you are now the current resident of SCP-2508. All of your duties to the foundation of the outside world are unofficially null and void. Okay, that also explains. That's why it's probably considered none. The current working theory is that the Foundation at large has no knowledge of this place whatsoever. The information present in this document has not been subject to review by the Foundation as a whole, but instead is the culmination of each individual Foundation member who has lived and died in the isolation of SCP-2508. Okay, I understand why it's considered object class none. It's because not only are the Foundation not aware of it, the only documents are inside the anomaly itself. Finding this anomaly probably is like really tough. As it said before, it kind of is like a chance thing that you find it. So yeah, okay. Herein lies more unexplained characteristics of SCP-2508. All recorded past residents have been Foundation personnel of clearance level 1 or higher. The reason for this remains unclear, but research suggests that, judging from water levels of -1 when new residents arrive, if a resident of SCP-2508 dies, they are replaced by a new resident within the same day, depending on your predecessor's cause of death. You may have some cleaning up to do. Footnote: cleaning supplies are in the upstairs bathroom. Then we have -1, which is -1 is a wood and metal pump-like device in the attic. The machine has a height of 1 meter and is affixed to the floor. Water put into the machine is pumped throughout the day to an unknown location via a series of 6 small PVC pipes that run from the bottom end of the machine to a small hole in the wall. If fully filled, -1 will drain in approximately 30 hours. A plaque built into the device contains the following written passage: please fill this machine once per day at noontime. We cannot arrive with as much haste if the machine runs dry. We hope you understand and trust that you will keep your side of the arrangement now that we have kept ours. Thank you. And here we can see it. There we go. Failing to fill the machine as instructed appears to have degenerative effects on both SCP-2508 and the individual who lives there. Allowing the device to remain empty for a prolonged period of time is believed to be fatal. It says here the previous editor, Dr. Orion, failed to provide an explanation for how this is fatal. I mean, I will read this. This is very short. Very short sides. It is advised that you heed the instructions. -2. What the fuck is that? As -2 designates the patch. of organic material in the basement. The material is of green coloration with small amounts of red and purple hues. It is not of any known species of plant. This material will photosynthesize if allowed sunlight through a hatch. Due to the structure of the basement, this hatch is placed slightly above ground level and will occasionally bloom with blue flowers. Some have reported hearing a static sound coming from the object or a faint red glow coming off of it in intermittent pulses. Translated from Morse code, these pulsations read, "Thanks for keeping the plants fed. Hit a snag in traffic. Might take a bit longer than expected." Like with -1, the hatch for -2 also has a plaque on it. Its text has been provided below. Please keep this hatch open only in good weather. Please keep it closed for rain, snow, and the chill of winter. Thank you. Ugh. Whatever that is. Ugh. Brother, ugh. Addendum, sorry. The record archive in the study has proven to be the most efficient way for cataloging and compiling research for future residents. However, a miscellaneous section was also added at some point to record the thoughts of those trapped here. Exact date unknown. You may feel free to read up on your predecessors. Provided below is an example intended to prime you for your stay here. I was driving home when it happened. I was about a 30-minute commute through a lot of back roads, and I was terribly drunk. It was one of those XK scenarios averted, like let's celebrate occasions. So I didn't really hesitate to down more than my fair share of wine. When I arrived at my front porch, car askew so that the front tires dug into the dirt of my front lawn. I stumbled through the door. After a great amount of fidgeting, I managed to get to my key in the lock and finally got the door open. But then, when I looked around, it wasn't my house at all. It was this place. Dumbfounded, I went back outside. Surely, I thought I had accidentally entered another house in my drunken stupor. But no, not even the outside was as expected. The suburban urban environments had shifted to a countryside. My car was still there, sitting on the asphalt road, which was now a dirt road. Everything was different, and it was never quite the same. That was all 23 years ago. No doubt my position as 05 was replaced long ago, and here I am, having found startlingly few answers. Every once in a while I found an old shoe or a photograph of someone who came before me. And I am reminded how we all chained together in an oblivious and obligatory service to this place. Lately the clouds kept rolling in, and the plants in the basement are buzzing more than usual. I hear the gurgling of water draining through the pipes in the walls from that old dusty machine, and sometimes I try to find where that water goes. I think it goes out beyond the house into the grassy field in front of the swing set. When I lay on the grass sometimes, if I listen very closely and everything else is quiet, I swear I can hear noises coming from far below the ground. They sound like some kind of clockwork mechanism, its gears quietly humming. I don't know what it means, and I don't think I ever will. Wait, should I try to be a autoclave cosplay? I mean, you can drop. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why you have to ask me. Like, if you want to do that, you can do that. Undoubtedly, the most puzzling thing about this place is really quite a small feature. There's a computer terminal in the study, and it looks like it's one of the oldest things in the house. It's clearly a foundation, but it's unsettling, to say the least. We would have known about this if the Foundation knew, I'm sure. But if it's truly the case, then it still doesn't explain how the anomaly got its number designation. Is it arbitrary, or is it actually catalogued in the outside world? I don't think it's possible to know from here. Sometimes I feel like I'm waiting for something or for someone. It's not for someone to save me, but it's as if I'm waiting to meet someone here. I dream of what the meeting might be, or what it might be in the first place. Be somewhere deep down I know that I will almost certainly die here. And this long wait will be passed down to another, to continue waiting with bated breath for something, though what exactly that something is we can't be sure of. Maybe someday I'll learn how to how the food gets restocked, written by 057. And now let's read Convergence real quick. Lilibeth Orion was sitting on the swing set, lazily kicking her feet back and forth. It was autumn, and the trees were beginning to shed themselves of leaves. The delicate descent from the branches to the ground had turned the landscape beautiful shades of orange and red, welcoming the changing seasons. She wasn't as spry as she was when she first came here. It was many years ago. Her once precise hands now shook when she wrote down her observation of the constellation. Her transition to living at SCP-2508 had not changed her fascination with space, nor her degree in astrophysics. Sometimes during quiet evenings before making dinner, Lilibeth would sit outside as she did now and watch the sun set. The swirls of flaming color would descend with that massive luminous sphere until it gave way to the cool touch of the night. Dark shades of somniferous blues and black would seep through the horizon until all appeared still and all was quiet. This time, however, things were slightly different. She was steeling herself. The lull of gears turning beneath the surface of the field was clearer than it had been in the times past, as a sound escaped from a small hole in the ground no bigger than 2 meters in diameter. With months upon months of arduous journeying behind her, she had finally broken her way into some kind of structure. She hasn't entered it yet. She needed to work up the nerve. Perhaps it was time. Lilibeth had not anticipated having to build a pulley system and makeshift elevator, but had come in handy in the later stages of moving the rock and earth from the field. As the old scientist descended into the darkness, the metallic clanking of clockwork became all the more noticeable. Finally, her junky elevator hit a metal grated floor. With her flashlight clenched tightly in her hand, she stepped out of the tunnel. Her light scanned over the interior, copper-colored walls, rusted metal pipes, and wiring. It was clear that something was below the great floor, but her flashlight could not see a bottom. There was no way of telling how far down this place actually went. One thing was certain though, and that was that the noise was becoming much louder. Lilibeth could feel the walls vibrate ever so slightly when she put her hand to them. When she removed it, her palm came away coated in a black grease. The flash was Lilibeth's solitary source of light here. The air was humid and filthy, blowing through a series of vents above her. She followed the tunnel, turning towards the noise when it presented her with intersections. With the turning of the gears, the walls hummed all around, and the grating buzzed below. It was trance-like. A brief investigation revealed half a dozen empty rooms throughout the tunnel system, with dirty and chipped tiled floors. There was little indication anyone had ever been there. They were not the interesting thing though. The interesting thing was what lay at the end of one of the halls. There stood a large metal door, which seemed to be open via a rusty crank on the wall. Its old surface still sported the remnants of a label, Tower. This was undoubtedly where all the noise was coming from. But now there was another noise accompanying the gears, and it was the sound of rushing water. With hesitation, Lilibeth turned the crank and the door opened. Inside the sphere-shaped room, she could see that she was still on a small catwalk, albeit one with stairs, that looked over the source of the new deafening noise. The machine in question was about 50 or so gears, huge ones and small ones, bronze ones and silver ones. Long chains of them connected to various bits of machinery and tubing that Lilibeth couldn't wrap her head around. All in all, the device was 2 stories tall, descending downward further into the dark. Lilibeth made her way down the small flight of stairs to the concrete base of the room. She was awestruck by the intensity and complexity of what she was looking at. Pipes labeled AfroFluff, connected to immense opaque containers that churned with liquid as the gears moved small bits of strange equipment. Layers upon layers of metal plates spun around beams, and tiny lifts, no bigger than a book, carried cylindrical canisters down for a small hole in the ceiling. To a small one in the floor directly above her head, several of the canisters were transported throughout the room via pneumatic tubes. The old scientist was lost for words. All she could do was stare at what was in front of her. She was almost about ready to turn back when she spotted a narrow corridor tucked into the corner of the room. It wasn't the same copper color of the rest of the complex, but instead was made of cobblestone lined with pipes coming from the machine and the walls themselves. Upon entering the room, it could have been a mistake. it could have been mistaken for a spacious sewer. A river made of stone, bordered by walkways and little bridges. But it wasn't a sewer. It didn't smell like one, and the water flowing from the evenly spaced pipes in the wall looked crystal clear. At the far end of the room, the water fell past a grate and into what could have very well been an unending darkness. The pipes are separated into groups of 6 small PVC pipes. All tricked a very slow stream of water, and all sets of 6 were marked by a wooden board next to it with some kind of identification. Lilibeth read the names as she traversed the walkway. Number 322, Project Avalon. 91-XSM, Slathering, KPI and 4. Number 18504, and finally SCP 2508. Lilibeth's heart sank. Skipped a beat as the information sank in. There were more. Shit, dude. Okay, so there's more. This is not the only house. There's at least 6 other. There's at least 6 total houses that people are potentially. Cats. If you keep pushing it, like I had another person. Pushing me about trying to read in the way that they prefer, and I got annoying pretty fast. Now, I don't think you're the same type of person as that person, because that person was a dickhead. But please do not try to change the way I'm doing this. I've been doing this for 4 years now. And I'm not going to speed it up or slow down. Okay, 1,000. You know what? Now we're talking. That's the number I was looking for. 400 was too small for me. 1,000? No problem. Jokes, by the way? Yeah, no, I know. I just want to make sure that because some people come on here and demand stuff from me. It's very exhausting. Especially because I'm over here like I'm doing the best I can. But yeah, okay, where was I? There's 6 other houses. There's 6 other houses that people are trapped in for all eternity. But it also seems like Lilibeth found out they're being watched, which is also. It's like Big Brother, but like you cannot escape, ever. Creepy. I wonder who's watching them. I wonder who created all this.